everyone. Welcome to Parker, Arizona. Oh man, what a long day it's been yesterday. Very long flight. Just long drive over here from Phoenix. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna call this a wildlife vlog, because this is more than a wildlife vlog. Every time we see an animal out here on this magnificent adventure out west, we're gonna document it. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm Native American. It's literally the only interesting fact about me. And so this is where my ancestors came from. So, not only is this going to be like a sightseeing trip, an animal finding trip, but it's also going to be a soul searching trip. I'm going to be searching about my history, my background, and like what makes me special. So here's the plan. When I find a rattlesnake, I'm going to extend my GoPro like this, take a few steps back, and then safely film it from a distance. The Grand Canyon features an abundance of wildlife that have specifically evolved special traits that allow them to survive in their harsh environment. From coyotes and roadrunners to Gila monsters and rattlesnakes, almost anything is a prime opportunity for me, and I came fully prepared. Right now we're in Parker, and it's a 4-hour drive from here to Grand Canyon National Park. But the stunning landscapes make this a road trip that you'll never forget. To them, it probably seems normal, but to me, it's an experience of a lifetime. That's good water for the desert. Alright, it's 3:38. We're on Route 66, about 75 miles away from the Grand Canyon. We should be there in the nick of time. Everyone, we've officially made it to the Grand Canyon! Yep. Now that we're in the park, there's a better chance that we're gonna spot wildlife. And I guarantee you, we're gonna see some here. I mean, it's a national park. And the more wild a place is, the better your chances are at finding an animal.
No, like...
Oh, guys. Ooh, bison markings. Very territorial. I only have a limited amount of time to find a rattlesnake, but if I don't find it here, then I can also find it in Bryce Canyon or Arches or Zion or the other national parks that I'm going to on this trip. And because I'm a freaking idiot, I'm intentionally searching for one. Gotta be very careful here in the bush. There's biological booby traps everywhere, including rattlesnakes. Holy crap, you guys. We just found wild prickly pear right here. Oh boy. Gotta be very careful. It's a savage plant that could attack at any moment. I'm a trained professional. Do not get up close to a cactus like this. The Grand Canyon is a gorgeous American landmark, but it is dangerous. Out of all the deaths for tourists at the canyon each year, falling is the #1 cause. And the reasons for falling? Tourists trying to get the perfect selfie. It's very important to pay close attention when you're on the canyon edge. Alright, day 2 at the canyon. The first night of searching for animals was an absolute failure, but hopefully with more sunlight, more reptiles will come out and more diurnal hunters will come out. And so I'm pretty optimistic about today. The Grand Canyon seems like something from a totally different planet. It's 277 miles long, 18 miles wide, and 6,093 feet deep. It is truly a marvel of nature. But how did it form exactly? The answer is shocking, but simple. The Colorado River carved it. The Grand Canyon is situated on the Colorado Plateau, and over millions of years, erosion caused the canyon to get deeper. Prolonged exposure to the elements caused weathering, further engraving it, and groundwater later caused the walls to collapse, molding the canyon into what we see today, with several cliffs, caves, and hoodoos. Almost all of Earth's history is sketched out through its layers, as rocks formed from millions of years ago from every time period can be seen to the naked eye on this enormous painting presented by Mother Nature. The first animals I spotted were these mules people were riding up the canyon. As I continued to travel down on foot, I found plenty of spotted whiptail lizards. Man. Or are those actually? Finding reptiles in the Grand Canyon is incredibly difficult, as they mostly spend the day in their burrows to escape the heat, and only come out to recharge. I unfortunately had no luck finding any rattlers or Gila monsters. I did, however, find their main prey, ground squirrels. These squirrels are interesting because out of all the animals found in the canyon, from rattlesnakes, Gila monsters, red-tailed hawks, and coyotes, all of whom prey on this rodent, the squirrels are actually the most dangerous. They were not afraid of any of us. They stood around begging for food. This is exactly how these squirrels end up attacking. They get fed and start seeing humans as a food source. They can also carry several diseases, therefore, it is never okay to feed them. To this big chungus. I did, however, manage to see one interesting reptile, this female colored lizard, and I can tell that it's a female because it's dull in coloration, whereas the males are more vibrant blue. It's one of the biggest lizards out in the West, and preys upon insects, other lizards, small snakes, and occasionally plants, although they can't survive solely on an omnivorous diet. They also have a very amazing running motion, as they can sprint on their hind legs at 16 miles per hour in order to escape predators. This one was pretty calm around me, but if I were to agitate it, it could give me a very nasty bite, causing me to bleed. As I reached the top once again, I spotted a very rare, very incredible creature that is almost never seen out here. Guys, look! California condor was right up there. It just flew by. I actually saw a California condor, an endangered California condor out in the wild. Can it come back? There it is, right there. The California condor, the largest flying bird in North America. This modern-day dinosaur was almost driven to extinction as a result of lead poisoning, as well as collisions with power lines. It got to the point that by 1987, there were only 22 of them left. Those remaining condors were taken into captivity and bred in hopes of rebuilding their populations. By 1992, they were released back into the wild, with 60 condors establishing populations in the nearby Vermilion Cliffs. By 2001, 40 more were released, and by 2023, there are now over 337 wild California condors in Arizona, California, Utah, and Mexico. Despite being long ways away to a full recovery, their wild population is continuing to increase. and I was very lucky to see this juvenile learn how to fly. At the top of the cliff, where the visitor center was, an unexpected guest showed up. There was so much commotion and people huddled around this one spot. I went to investigate, and lo and behold, it was a bighorn sheep. This ram was probably far from its herd, and it's really concerning to see this animal be so comfortable around humans. Hopefully, he is safely relocated. The horns of the bighorn sheep are used for attracting mates and sparring over females. They are specially designed as helmets, as when the two rams headbutt each other, they absorb all the energy from the collision, protecting their brains from concussion. Bighorn sheep aren't the only large-hoofed mammals to call the Grand Canyon home. The second largest member of the deer family, elk, are a common sight around the area. Wow. I am this close to an elk. Like, that's the elk right there. And there's me. Gotta be very careful. It's a creature that could attack at any moment. It could... If it kicked me, it could cave my stomach in. Wow. The elk is the second largest member of the deer family behind the moose. And this is a female. It's an elk cow. Well, actually, it turns out, this is one of my major nitpicks about taxonomy. It's that, well, elk, despite being members of the deer family, their babies are not called fawns. They're actually calves. And this is a cow elk, as well as and the males are called bulls. I don't really know why though. Yeah, he's just chilling around grazing. And I guess I'll just give it some space. So yeah, it's pretty cool right there. Well everyone, that's gonna do for the Grand Canyon trip. I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't get to see any rattlesnakes, but that's okay because I got this book right here, and I'm pretty triggered to learn that some of them were probably hidden in plain sight. But, I mean, snakes, especially venomous ones, are elusive, so I got all the animals I could find, and I got this hat right here of my boys, the condors. So that's gonna wrap up this adventure, but I'll be back for Zion. And as always, if you're new, like and subscribe. See you later.